Hey everybody, Grest here. So today we're going to take a look at my M16A4 Clone project that I've been working on. Going to give you all a little bit of an update, so let's get at it. Alrighty folks, so just a little bit of an update video on my M16A4 Clone project that I've been working on. So I did a couple of videos on this already. The initial AR-15A1 style from Colt that I picked up from Brownells, that's the basis for this. I showed you guys a video on the CAC M5 RAS setup with the grip, and then I also did a video on the MATEC backup sight. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the other items I ended up putting on this setup. So first things first, you can see that there is no magazine in the receiver and it is clear and safe. And so we'll kind of start from the end here, and you can see the everything is basically the same as it came from Colt, except for the M5 RAS setup from Knights Armament Co. This thing is pretty dang awesome. The grip as well, love it. As far as the sling that you see here, this is a Blue Force Gear sling. Okay, you can pick these up over at my friends over at Brownells. Kind of moving on back on this guy. I did get the cage code sticker for the side here, and that's kind of debatable. A lot of people say, well, you don't need that, or we didn't have those, depending on how far back or whatnot. I thought it kind of looked pretty cool, and I used a Carolina Laser. They kind of put these together and ship out really fast. So if you're doing a clone project and you need one of these labels, definitely check them out. Now, I talked about this in one of my original videos, I think, on when I first got the Colt in. I did have a Trijicon, so this is a 4x32. It is the millionth ACOG limited production one. So it's in this stars and stripes pattern right here, which I think looks really cool. And it also has, on the other side, I have this GDI mount on here, which I like quite a bit. It's a QD mount, works really well. So as far as the ACOG, I've had it a long time. Well, since 2017, I think, is when I originally got this. 2017, maybe 2018. I thought about getting a black one. I also thought about doing the rifle in a FDE color or a sand or some sort of desert scheme, but I have decided to just leave the Colt as it is. I'm not going to mess with it. Maybe at some point, because I'm not going to paint over this, maybe at some point I will pick up one of the Marine Corps 4x32 ACOGs. It's got the kill flash on the front. You know, it'll be a little more correct for this setup, but for now, this is the only ACOG I got, and an M16A4 definitely needs an ACOG in my mind. All right, so moving on back here, I head over to Spectra Gear and got this mag holder for the buttstock. And this is kind of another one of those things that people say, you know, it's a little bit of a debatable type of item, but I thought it looked pretty cool. Kind of looks right at home on here, and seeing how it's this tan color like so, kind of offsets the black a good bit, along with the sling. That's kind of the reason I went with the sling color. I've seen a lot of different sling attachment methods for this. So the Spectra Gear magazine holder for the buttstock does have a spot here to attach a sling, so that's where I ended up attaching it. This is not the Spectra Gear sling though. They do make a sling, but I was kind of back and forth and wanted to go with a Blue Force Gear. Really, there's so many options for these. You know, this is kind of my version of a clone, so it doesn't have to be exactly like the next guy's, and as long as it works for me and my setup, I'm pretty happy with it. So anyways, so let's talk about range time. I've had this out to the range a little bit. I haven't shot a ton of rounds through it. Oh, I did forget about one thing. I do have the Geisley SSA trigger assembly in here, which is sweet as can be for something like this. So I did get to shoot this a little bit so far, and as you would expect, a 20-inch Colt like this shoots super smooth, very easy to get hits at out to 100 yards, no problem. I don't have anywhere currently that I can shoot further than that, but it's no problem hitting steel with little effort at all. I did have to kind of tweak in the ACOG just a tad, and I was just using regular old M193 ball stuff, so maybe at some point I step it up and use some other bullet weights and stuff like that, and I'm sure this will run just fine like that. So one of the things that I currently do not have in the video is I have an old GI magazine that my buddy Joey Hunt sent me. So definitely, I mentioned him in a couple previous videos, but definitely go check him out. He sent that to me, and you know, to kind of help round out my M16A4. It looks right at home. I'll roll in some photos and stuff like that. But I did not have any old beat the heck up GI mags, and he was able to get me one, so that was really cool of him. He's got a bunch of old stuff like that, so you know, you used to be able to pick that stuff up at gun shows pretty cheap, but you know, now there's quite a bit of a collectability for a lot of these older GI mags and stuff like that, so it's kind of interesting. But anyways, just to kind of wrap up the video, love this thing. It's exactly what I have been wanting to put together for many years. It is such a soft shooter, smooth shooting. I actually let somebody else that was with me take a few shots with it as well, and he thought it was excellent. It was actually his first day shooting an AR, so that was kind of cool. You know, this thing is, you know, a lot of people knock the newer Colts and stuff since CZ took them over, but no complaints. You know, I think this is an excellent rifle, even before I made the changes to it. And I did notice that Brownells had the Air 15 20-inch from Colt, which was the basis for this, back in stock, and they were on sale. So definitely check them out if you're looking to do something like this. It's a great foundation, great rifle. You know, like I said, I am very happy with this thing overall, and you know, it's one of those things I'm going to have around for a long time. So, but yeah, that about wraps it up. So yeah, super happy with this thing, and plan on having it for an awful long time. Okay, so I appreciate everybody watching today's update video on my M16A4 Clone project. Pretty much done with this as far as I can tell, except for a heck of a lot more shooting, of course. If you're looking for something like this or other parts and accessories, definitely check out my friends over at Brownells. Use code BOP10, you will save 10% off your order. Any comments or questions, please put those down below. As always, I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all take it easy.